Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband Mason and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, March 31st. It is a rainy, cool spring day in Parma and that's okay. We are having a very casual episode today, low makeup. We are just kind of gonna roll with it. Just keeping it casual. I have a mug of tea next to me. I'm watching the rain fall outside. It's just very cozy and exactly the kind of restful day that I need today. So if you are new here, a huge welcome to you. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. A big welcome to you also. I can also be found on Instagram and Ravelry, and those will be linked down below, both as just Pearls of Paradise, same as you can find me here. And then I also play Pokemon Go. If you've been around a while, you know I am quite the avid player, and my friend code is linked down below. So if you or your spouse or your kids play, feel free to add me on there as well. Okay, let's get into the housekeeping thing. So I usually podcast, if you're new here, every other Friday. I have off work and that's my day to podcast. I will be off the next scheduled podcast Friday, but my husband and I will be celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. So we are getting away and spending some time, just the two of us. I had debated on trying to fit one in like I did the last time that I wasn't able to podcast on a Friday. And after considering it, I just didn't want to put that kind of pressure on me. And I really want to be able to focus on spending time with each other and getting away. So that's what I'll be doing here in a couple of weeks. I will try to be more active on Instagram so that you can see my progress on things, but I can assure you I will be knitting, I will be crafting, I will be doing all of the things. So if you're missing this content during my little mini hiatus, hop on over to Instagram. I have not been as regular over there, but I'm going to try to be better about that. And I think that's all the housekeeping I have for now. Spring is going to be a little bit wonky as far as podcast scheduling. So thanks in advance for bearing with me. April is shaping up to be a very busy month. May looks to be just as busy. So thanks for bearing with me on that. All right, let's get into the very casual knitting part of the podcast, which is pretty much the whole thing and why you're here. I am wearing today, I'm just cozied up in my Ruana by Marley Bird, and I knit this. It took me forever. I just was really slow on this, and I've talked about it before. I've worn it on the podcast before. It's got lace, it's got cabling, it's got pockets, and it's very cozy. It took me, I think, a bit over a year, to finish this, maybe a year and a half. I'm not really sure. It's been done for almost a year, I think, too. So it's very cozy. It's just, I think, Caron Pound of Love or something. I don't remember. I think it's the Sage colorway, but I could also be making that up. Like I said, I've talked about this before. You can go back and look at previous episodes or check on my Ravelry if you're interested in the project details. They should be over there. So that's all the knitwear I'm wearing. I do have some socks on, but I'm not going to try and get my foot up here to show you today. I have no finished objects, but I have 3 new cast-ons, I think, since last time. And one of them is very close to being a finished object already. So I do have a lot of knitting things to share with you today. Let's just get going. Like I said, this is going to be kind of just a casual whatever episode. So I'm just going to pick at random, and whatever we pick is what we're going to talk about. Okay. So this bag is by Ginger Root. I love this bag. It's so pretty, so springy, and that's why it was my spring equinox cast on. So I cast this on Monday, March 20th. I think that was March 20th. I'm not real sure. Anyways, the first day of spring, and I am knitting the Magnolia Lane cardigan by Crafts Everywhere, and my printer is a black and white printer, so it's in black and white, and that's okay. And let me show you my progress. This is not the thing that I'm almost finished with, and if you're wondering why I'm tapping my camera every few minutes at the beginning of recording, it does this preview thing and it turns it off so I can't see. So anyway, it's a little problematic, it's a little bit annoying, but I can't turn off that setting, so there we go. And it's kind of hard to figure out what the right side, okay, this is the right side that I'm about to show you. So this is what I've gotten done on it so far, and this is really not a lot of work. I have not spent a lot of time on this one. It's showing up really red on camera. It is not that red. Let me see. Can I get, it doesn't really want to photograph. The camera's not picking it up accurately. But you can see the stitches. This is knit on much larger needles than I normally use. I usually use smaller needles. Like I tend to gravitate towards projects that require like US size 6, US size 4, US size 2. And these are US size 13. So this is a 9mm needle. So pretty big. And I am really enjoying this. So I've never done a Latvian braid flat. I've only ever done those in the round, and it's a little bit different flat. So that's been really interesting. I've also never done them with one color. I think I've decided I like them flat much better than in the round. I'm finding, or at least with one color, maybe one color in the round is the same process. I'm not sure, but I'm really enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck as far as time goes, because just a couple of rows gives you a lot of progress length. So yeah, this is, like I said, my spring equinox cast on. I am using yarn that I bought from Mega of the Skeins of Dreams podcast. She was destashing this, and I had been looking at this pattern, and I knew I wanted this yarn in this colorway, and so I purchased it from her. So the yarn is We Are Knitters, the cotton, and this is the color Terracotta. And like I said, that's a little bit closer to the actual color. I don't know, it's more of a burnt orange, and here it's just showing up very red. It is not red, it's not nearly this bright. Yeah, I cannot get the correct color to show up. It's much more orangey and just, maybe, no, it's not gonna work. Yeah, it's just a darker, like burnt orange kind of color, but it's really pretty. And I chose this yarn and this pattern, and I've been sitting on this for forever. And I wanted to cast it on for the Cozy Up Knits Spring Cotton Mal. And it's going on over on their Instagram and their Ravelry, I believe. And it's basically, you just knit anything cotton, as long as it's not a dishcloth, and enter it. I don't think you even need to have a finished object. I don't think. So this will be my entry, at least one of them. It runs the entirety of spring, so I think it finishes up like June 20th or June 21st or whatever the first day of summer is. So go check that out if you are knitting anything with cotton or want to knit with cotton. I'm hoping to finish this and then also cast on the Autumn League pullover. I have Lion Brand cotton jeans, which is the recommended yarn for that, and I'm hoping to get both of those done in time to enter them. So we'll see though. We'll see, because have I made other crafty plans? Oh yes, I have. Oh yes, I have. I don't. So if you've been around a while, you know I have more plans and more dreams than I have time for. Yeah, so don't hold me to that, but I have the yarn, I have the pattern, and I really want to knit it. So we will see. So that is my Magnolia Lane cardigan. I don't think I have anything else to say about it. So far it's really fun, and I will keep you posted on my progress. All right, so there is new cast on number 1. And like I said, we're just keeping this very casual. So we'll just reach back. Oh no, do I want to save this? No, I'm gonna save that. We'll go to new cast on number 2. We'll go to this one next. This one is a bag that my friend Amy, who's Our So Good Life over on Instagram, made. She used to sell project bags. I bought quite a few from her, but she no longer does. So she gave this one to me, and I thought that this was the perfect project for my St. Patrick's Day cast on, which was not on St. Patrick's Day. It ended up being the next day. If you watched my previous episode, I had planned on casting this on, and I got home from work on St. Patrick's Day and was just exhausted. It did not happen. We podcasted, I think that day. I think we podcasted St. Patrick's Day. Yes, we did. And after that, by the time we had dinner and stuff, I was just so tired. It didn't happen. But I did it the next day, which is when we had our whole St. Patrick's Day dinner and stuff anyway. So it was fine. And this has been on my list for quite some time. You've heard about it. And I did it. I finally cast on my Monstera cardigan by Joji Locatelli, and I got a whole 5 rows done. So this one, let me see which side. This is the right side. Not that it really matters, because this is as far as I've gotten. This is a beautiful all over cable cardigan. I have wanted to knit this for forever. The yarn is by Tina's Twisted Fibers in her, I believe, Ultra Fingering base. And the color is Willow. And she dyed a sweater quantity of this for me early last summer or late last spring for this cardigan. And I swatched for it, and then I just didn't cast it on. And this yarn is just so pretty. Look at that. I love, 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 love this color. Anyways, I just didn't cast it on, kept putting it off, kept putting it off. So I finally did. And then I promised myself that I would do 1 row every day. And I did that for 1 day. And then, yeah, it just didn't happen this week. And you'll see why in a few minutes. But I would really like to aim to do 1 row a day for a little while. I'd like to do more than 1 row a day. It's all over cable. I have to really focus and pay attention. So it's, at least right now, maybe at some point it will become a little more intuitive and more TV knitting friendly, more travel friendly. But for right now, I really need to focus on what I'm doing, and I just haven't had that space lately. So I'm hoping to start doing 1 row every night in the evening and see where that gets me. I don't know if that's really the best way to go on this or not. But yeah, that's what we have so far. I did plan on this being kind of a longer term project just because it is fingering weight. It is on size 4 needles, US size 4 needles, which is, I don't know how many millimeters, something smallish, 3.5 millimeter needles. It's not going to be quick, and that's okay. I think it's fine to have a longer term project. If I could have this done by fall, I would love to have it done by fall. Here, I'll try and hold it so that you can see a little bit. You can kind of see. But every right side row is a cable row. It's just going to take a while, and that's okay. So yeah, I don't have a ton to say about this because I haven't done anything more than 5 rows. I did enjoy knitting my swatch when I swatched. I thought that the cable pattern was fun, and so I'm hoping that it becomes more fun for me as we go on. And even if it doesn't, I really want this cardigan in my wardrobe. If you've been around a while, green is my color. I wear a lot of green. I love green. My eyes are green. So I really want this cardigan. And if it takes a long time, it takes a long time, and that's okay. I think it's going to be a classic staple piece in my wardrobe whenever it does get finished. So if it takes forever, that's okay. So again, that is the Magnolia cardigan by Joji Locatelli. The yarn is, oops, that's upside down. The yarn is by Tina's Twisted Fibers. She has a lot of great colorways, and she's relatively local to me. And she is just a great lady. I love seeing her and visiting with her when we go to yarn shows. So if you're watching, Tina, hello, and thank you for your beautiful yarn. All right, moving on. Okay, this is the whip that I have a new cast on. I have been almost monogamous on it since I cast it on. I actually was sad a little bit to have to stop to cast on the other 2 things. I did not expect to feel that way about this, but I am completely obsessed with this. So before I show it, I'm going to tell you about it. I don't think she watches, but Alexis, my sister-in-law Alexis, if you are watching, I don't think you even know about this podcast, but if by some chance you do and you watch and I just don't know it, don't watch. Turn it off. Come back at the end of April, May. Come back later. You'll know when you can come back. But yeah, don't. And if anyone else from my husband's family is watching, please do not spoil the surprise. Thank you, thank you. All right. Hopefully everybody's got it now. So my sister-in-law is my husband's youngest sister, is due with her first baby at the end of June, but her baby shower is at the end of April. And I've been talking about this, but I hadn't started it, so you probably know what this is. This bag is by Mid Mitten Designs. I bought this at Wild and Woolly. Do you guys see what's inside? Oh my gosh. I am obsessed with this. I am absolutely obsessed with it. My coworkers and my family are probably tired of hearing me talk about it because I have not stopped talking about this sweater. This little sweater since I started it. So this is the I Heart Rainbows sweater by Tin Can Knits. I had not cast this on yet last podcast. And oh my word, ends everywhere. I have not weaved in a single end yet, so it's a little wonky. But look at this. You guys, I can't even, I am completely and totally in love with this sweater. I want one. I want one for myself. I wish it was in an adult size. If it was, I would make it tomorrow. This has been the most fun little baby sweater ever. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the yarn first. So I use yarn from 3 different dyers. The gray is Gray by Cornbread and Honey, and I think it's just on her sock or her sock fingering or whatever base. The rainbow colors, except for the violet, are by Dye Mad, D-Y-E, Mad Yarns. Oh, and the purple, it's called Spring Violet. Let me see if the ball band is in here because I can't recall the dyer. I think I know what it is, but I just want to make sure I get it right. Yes, created for, like the number 4, U, like the letter U, by Laura. I just read it and yes. So from Created For You by Laura is the purple. That's called Spring Violet. And I believe they're all Ohio dyers. I do live in Ohio. I try to support dyers who are local-ish to me when I can. And this little sweater is everything. So baby is a rainbow baby. So that's why I chose this pattern. And I absolutely adore it. This has been so much fun. It has flown off of my needles. I am knitting size 6 to 12 months. I think it's coming out a little closer to the 12-month size than the 6-month size, but I'm okay with that. I did add, let me fix this. The edge keeps flipping up, but I'm hoping once I block it, if I pin that down, that won't happen anymore. I did add this rainbow at the bottom because there is a hat pattern that comes with this pattern, and the hat pattern on its own is a free pattern, but if you purchase the sweater pattern, the hat pattern is included with that as well. So there's a matching hat that I would really like to make if I have enough of the gray left. So I added this extra rainbow at the bottom to save some of the gray. I don't think I'm going to have enough for the matching hat. I have a lighter gray that I could use, but then it won't really match. But I have another friend who is having a baby this summer as well, who I might make the matching hat for with the same minis and just a different gray for the hat. So I'm not really sure, but I absolutely adore this. It is knit top down. It is paid for pattern, so I don't want to give away too much, but you do start knitting flat, and there's a sweet little button band. And I did buy buttons from Joann's. I left them over on the dining room table. I should have brought them over. But I'm not sold on them yet. They're little hearts, and I think little like red hearts. I think that'd be very cute, but I am still kind of scouring craft stores and the internet. I would love to find maybe some raindrop buttons or some cloud buttons or some rainbow buttons. I like the hearts, but I don't know. I want something weather related, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see what I end up with. I'll show you the back. So it is, it's got this beautiful yoke, and I had so much fun with this. The yoke was just, I just can't describe how much fun I had. It was great. I kept knitting a row and then not even a whole row or round or whatever, wherever I was at, and stopping and going, oh, it's so pretty. I love it. If you've been around a while, I love bright colors. I love mini skeins. I love everything about this. I was a little bit concerned that I was going to hit the body and then quit because the body was just this plain gray, and gray is not my favorite. I don't tend to gravitate towards neutrals or solids, but the gray has just enough interest that it kept me going. And my husband and my brother and I went up to a local arboretum that my husband and I are members of on Sunday to do some Pokemon Go and some hiking. And I took this with me and I knit most of the body on the car ride there and back. So it flew, and then I popped this rainbow in, which kept me going, and added the little border that keeps flipping. I really hope that that straightens out and blocking. I picked up for the first sleeve and I am almost done with that. So I just have the second sleeve and about 8,000 ends to weave in, buttons, blocking, and this will be done. I can't believe how quickly this went. I was nervous I wasn't going to have it done in time for the baby shower, and that definitely will not be an issue. So anyways, again, this is the I Heart Rainbow sweater by Tin Can Knits. If you are looking for a fun, bright, you don't even have to do bright. I mean, you could make your rainbow, you know, more muted colors, but I went with bright because I think kids and babies need bright colors. The world needs more light and more brightness, and honestly, how perfect is this? I absolutely love this. Okay, I can't even. I just can't. So this is all I have left of the gray though, and I need a whole nother sleeve. I don't think this will be enough for the hat, which is a bummer. I could knit the hat in the smaller size, maybe, but the baby's going to be born in June, at the end of June. I just don't think, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I don't think we're going to have enough for a hat out of this though, but that's okay. I just love this. Okay, I could spend the next hour gushing about this sweater. I won't, but I could. If you're looking for a baby knit, go knit this. It's so much fun. Just knit it. Find a baby to give it to. I don't know, but it is amazing. It is amazing. I would like them to come out with the adult version. I would totally make it. I would totally wear it. I might make and wear two. Okay. Anyways, that is where the bulk of my knitting time went the past couple of weeks. That's why I only got 5 rows done on my Monstera cardigan. I spent pretty much, I don't know, every day, every evening, every little bit of knitting time on that sweater, and I have no regrets. None. It was so much fun. Okay, let's move to this one. You guys are probably tired already of hearing me go on about this sweater, but it's so stinking cute. So stinking cute. I do hope she likes it. I'm not really sure. I looked at her registry and everything is extremely muted colors. So that's okay. I will be the quirky, colorful aunt, and that's all right. I can be the quirky, colorful aunt. It's okay. All right. Moving along, I apparently am in the middle of a row. I said that with a lot of confidence. Yes? Yeah, I'm in the middle of a row. You know what? We are... do I want to get all the way across this row? I don't think so. I think that's going to take too long. Yeah, it's going to take too long. Okay, well, I'm just going to, no, I'm going to need to knit across this row, and I think I have to knit all the way back across. So, what can we chat about while I am sitting here knitting? I don't think I've ever actually knit on the podcast before, have I? I am not the fastest knitter either. So bear with me. It's going to be a few minutes. So if you want to fast forward through my rambles, feel free. Let's see. Oh, I know. We will take a little break from the whips while I finish the next 2 rows on this, and we can talk about my future knitting plans. So if you were around for the last episode, which I don't know what happened with it. I don't know if because I released it a different day and time or what. It just didn't seem like it was seen by very many of you, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's also just such a busy time of year, but I feel like every time of year is a busy time of year, so I don't know. Anyways, if you did tune into my last episode, you saw my finished Turkey Trot colorwork cowl in Knit Picks Upcycled Alpaca. And it was the one that was kind of the blue and the beige and the brown, which aren't typically my colors, but I did enjoy knitting that, and I wore it exactly one time. And I mentioned that my brother went with us to the Arboretum on Sunday. He slept over last weekend, and I came out of work wearing that. He and my husband picked me up from work, and he loved it. He was like, that is the most beautiful thing you've ever made. I just love it. I don't know what it is about the colors and the pattern, but I love it. And so I was like, oh, we'll feel it. It's really soft. Anyways, long story short, by the end of the weekend, he had pretty much been wearing it the entire weekend. So I was like, do you want it? If you want it, you can have it. And he did want it. So it's no longer mine. He took it, and that's totally okay. He is extremely knit-worthy, maybe probably like the most knit-worthy person in my life. So knit-worthy. So he has it now. And I have yarn left over, and I thought about making a matching hat. But I didn't feel like making a matching hat. I didn't really want to do that. So I'm not doing that. Okay, there we go. We're going to turn. All right, knit all the way back across. So I'm not doing that. And then I saw Isabel Kramer released a new sweater pattern this week called, oh, I'm going to butcher it, but it's called Nefeli? Nefeli? I think it's Nefeli. I looked it up on Google to try to see how do you pronounce it. And the best pronunciation I could find was Nefeli. So Nefeli. And I saw Grace from the Cat Knit podcast, her version over on Instagram. And I had seen a couple other versions and it hadn't grabbed me. But hers was lime green, and that's probably why I was like, oh, ooh. So I saw that, and I thought, I really want to knit this. This is so pretty. But I am kind of trying to curb my yarn buying a little bit. I've bought several other sweater quantities somewhat recently. I have sweater quantities sitting here. So I was like, I just can't justify buying all new yarn for this. I looked up what I would need, and it's worsted. And I thought, wait a minute. I think that upcycle alpaca is worsted. So I checked, sure enough it was, and I realized I could use my leftovers for that. And then I would only need to buy a few more skeins for the body. So I may have bought a few more balls of the azul color from Knit Picks. I'm going to do the body and like the main color as azul, and then the contrasting colors as parchment and biscotti, all of which were used in that cowl. So if you go back and look at the colors on that cowl, that's exactly the same yarn I will be using. And I am very tempted to cast it on. I bought pattern. I am ready. I'm so ready to cast it on, but I cannot. And the reason is I promised myself I don't get to cast that on until I have successfully sewn a placemat. The placemats are coming. I will sit down this afternoon at my sewing machine and attempt. The fabric is in the washer and dryer right now. So I got that far. I am committed. I'm committed. If you've been around, I got a sewing machine recently and I set it up, I threaded it, I kind of played around with some scraps. I bought a ton of the sewing things that you need for the sewing, and I never got any further. I just need time to sit and really focus, and that's going to be today. That will be today. I have made the promise to myself. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to focus, I'm going to take the next steps. Will the placemats be done today? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to finish it today or anything. I just want to make progress. Even if all I do is get the fabric washed and dried and ironed and maybe cut, I would be thrilled with that. So we'll see. I'm not committing to anything other than I will sit down with my sewing machine and I will make progress, because one of my big goals this year was to learn to sew. I would really like a mostly handmade wardrobe at some point within the next decade. So I need to learn to sew, but it's hard sometimes being really good at one kind of crafting to allow yourself to be really bad at something else. And I need to be really bad at sewing for a little bit so that I can get better at it. That being said, I got across my rows, and here is my Vertices Unite by Stephen West. And I did make some progress on this. I got a few more rows done. I am much happier with this now that I am in section 2. I am really, really enjoying it. I'm not sure if it's just the colors or doing something a little bit different. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It is huge. I am knitting the largest size. All of the yarn, I have talked so much about this shawl so many times. So I won't talk too much more about it, but the yarn is all by Fangirl Fibers. It's all from her Disney Yarn Club from 2022 that I was a part of. And yeah, so colors real quick. The pinky purple is Tale as Old as Time, inspired by Beauty and the Beast. The white, which has flecks of bright colors in it, is Glitch, inspired by Wreck-It Ralph. The bluey purple here is Under the Sea, inspired by The Little Mermaid. And the alternating yarn, which is kind of the more brown flecked, pinky purpley one. It's very low contrast, but I really like it. Is Best Day Ever, or Best Day, one of the two. It's inspired by Tangled. And my progress keeper on this one is Little Gnome, hanging out there, keeping our spot. And I believe that is from Simply Serving Handcrafts. I think I could be wrong on that, but I think that's where I got it. Okay. Like I said, if you have been around, you have heard more about this than you've ever wanted to. But that is my Vertices Unite Shawl by Stephen West. And it is still living in my fall coffee bag by Twisted Yarn and Fiber. And I don't know, I just like this bag. I think I'm just going to keep it in here. I don't think I'm going to put it in a springtime bag. I like this one. It makes me happy. It has coffee on it. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, the last thing I have to show is another one. If you've been around a while, you've seen several times, and it's living in my Pokemon bag. I don't know the maker. My husband, I believe, purchased this one for me for Christmas maybe one year. But we've got a bunch of Pokemon on there. And he also got me a little Pokeball keychain to go on it. Which is all appropriate because this is the vest I'm knitting for my husband that I had great intentions of getting done for our anniversary. Our anniversary is less than 2 weeks away. It's not going to happen. That's fine. He's fine with it. I am kind of shooting for his birthday, which is a month later. I don't know. We'll see. He says he's fine if it happens, and he's fine if it doesn't happen. It'll happen eventually. He's been married to me for almost a decade. He knows this is how it goes. And it's fine. It's all fine. It's all great. So this is the sweater I'm knitting. It is the Zippered vest. Very original name. I think it's also in here as like Man Zippered Vest or something, by Jaqueline Van Dillen. And it's got this really lovely cable that runs up the front and up the back. And I've had the back done for a while, and I'll go ahead and show you. By a while, I mean like a month maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It sat for a really long time with a very tiny amount left to do, with like this much left. But that's the back. It's hard to see the cable on camera. The sun is maybe peeking out a little bit. Our lighting just got a lot better. You can kind of see it. You can definitely see it in person. It's just that the camera is not picking it up super well. And this is knit in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed in the Lighthouse Heather worsted weight. Yeah, Lighthouse Heather colorway though. There you can see the cable a little better. So anyways, I got that done, the back panel, and set it down. And then I didn't have the right needles to cast on the front panel. So I waited, and then eventually I bought the right needles. What, a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I don't know. Did I cast it on? No, I didn't. No, I let it sit there. And then last night, my husband and I were just settling in to watch a couple episodes of a show that we were finishing up. And I told him to just pick something out of my whip basket. And whatever he picked, that's what I was going to work on. And he, like, never will pick the things I'm knitting for him, because he says he feels guilty, and I'm like, you shouldn't feel guilty, like, just pick whatever. So this time I was very proud of him. He picked out the vest. So I've cast on for the right front, and which side? This is the right side. And I got this far in maybe a little over an hour. So it's not too bad. And again, you can't really see the cable panels here, but it's kind of hard to see. So at least it started. At least I've got something going. I think sometimes if you don't move to the next step right away, it's really easy, at least for me, to just let things sit and then not pick them back up. I don't know why. It seems really intimidating to have to start again. I don't know. But anyways, I did, and it started, and that's how it's going. So I am under no illusions. I will definitely not have this done for our anniversary. I am not sure I will even have this done for his birthday, but we'll see. Putting the zipper in, I do think will be a little bit intimidating. It may take a little more time than I'm used to, and I really want to get it right. So I'm okay with not rushing this in order to have it right and fit correctly and be something he's going to wear for years, than to try to rush to get it done for his birthday and have it be like just not a great fit. So I do have the zipper. I have it. It's ready to go. But I kind of need to finish knitting it in order to put it in. But I've never put a zipper in anything before. So that will be good though. It's a new skill to learn, a new thing to try. So it'll be good. It's just a little bit scary. It's not hard. It's new. That's what Gigi from Gigi Made It always says. It's not hard. It's new. So, all right. I think that is all I have for the knitting portion of the podcast, and I kind of did a little bit of a life update already. So I did not do one last time because I was tired and I forgot. But we can get into that now. So life update, the last couple of weeks, I don't know what's happened. I have done a lot of Pokemon Go. I did level up to level 41, so that was very exciting. Like I said, my brother was over this past weekend. I got together with a friend for lunch on Saturday. That was lovely. We went to the Arboretum on Sunday. That was also really, really nice. There are some crocuses blooming and some daffodils. There were a lot of Lenten roses and spring heath. So there are definitely some signs of spring, some things blooming. This past week, though, we had a day where it was in the 50s, and then 2 hours later it snowed. So I don't know what's going on. We've had like all the weather this week. It's fine though. It's fine. Like I said, today I'm just kind of having a cozy, chill, casual day. I have butter sitting out to soften to make some chocolate chip cookies. It's actually Jamie from Cozy Up Knits, oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe. It was part of their Throwing It Back shawl, mystery knit along. It was, I think, included in that, I think. But anyways, I'm going to make those today. I'm going to sew or do sewing related things anyways this afternoon. Making burritos for dinner. Yeah. Today's my only day off for a while. I'm working starting tomorrow. I work 7 days in a row. I do work full-time outside of the home as a customer service representative for a public library. So that'll be busy. Starting April. Wow. That was interesting. Starting April off kind of with a bang, pretty busy. And then tomorrow evening we're getting together for dinner with some friends. So that will be lovely. Then I think the following weekend is Easter. I have no idea what's happening, where the time is going. And then the weekend after that, we're celebrating our wedding anniversary. It's actually during the week before. It's on a Wednesday. So yeah, that'll be exciting. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to just getting away and enjoying it. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't know. April is going to be a busy, busy month. And then May, we have both of our birthdays in early May. And there's just all the things, so much going on, but that's okay. It's all good. I know there are things I'm forgetting. But yeah, that's what we have going on around here. I'm hoping to do some spring cleaning here pretty soon. And yeah, I think that's all I have. I don't think I have a whole lot else to talk about. I did book corner. You know what? We haven't done book corner in a while. I did finish recently Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, I think is how you pronounce her last name. That one was pretty good. I did audio, and the first portion of the book was a little bit difficult to listen to just with the subject matter and stuff, but really enjoyed it. I don't know if I've talked about Frida McFadden's books on here yet, but I've really enjoyed. I listened to The Housemaid, loved it. I listened to another one by her that I can't remember the name of it, The Locked Door or something, and I liked that one too. And she recently came out with a sequel to The Housemaid called The Housemaid's Secret or Secrets. Anyways, I just started that one 2 days ago and I'm really liking it. I am reading physically a book called The Dumb House. It was published, I think, in the late 90s. I can't recall the name of the author. So far, it's very creepy and unsettling, and I like it. I think I like it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Saying a lot. I think that's really all I have for you. I haven't been doing a whole lot of other crafting outside of that. Playing a lot of Dreamlight Valley. I've played some Pokemon Scarlet. Of course, all the Pokemon Go. And I think that's it. So I am going to go edit this and get it uploaded and get my fabric switched around and get on with all of my plans for the day. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this has offered you a little bit of a respite and refresh from the wild, very harsh world out there right now, and has maybe inspired you. So yeah, anyway, I will be over here knitting in my little corner of Parmadice, and I hope that you can find a chance to craft over in your little corner of paradise as well. I don't know where my remote is and where it went, so I got, oh, there we go. Okay. Anyways, have a great month. Have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time. Bye.